for India, the movement that we are launching here at Aspire for Her today. So thank you so much, Dr. Andrei, for all your support and your partnership and for doing what you do every day to make India the AI capital of the world. It's also our pleasure to welcome Manisha, who is one of our newest mentors. She is logging in all the way. Manisha Gupta is logging in all the way from the US, and she is while you will hear a little bit about her, but she is absolutely passionate about seeing more women in the workforce. She is a woman in AI herself. She has also written a book, which hopefully we'll be able to talk about at some point in time, a few weeks down the line. It's also my pleasure to welcome Girisha from AWS. Girisha has been a senior leader, senior women in technology, and she also feels very strongly about the movement that we are about to craft. She Dares has been a very wonderful experience for us, for all of us at Aspire for Her, for all our members. Our members have voted with their feet. And we hope that with this new initiative, we will only go forward in stronger strides. Thank you very much. And I do hope and wish that all of you continue to aspire for her. Thank you. Thank you, Aditi.
Thank you so much, Madhura ma'am. It's been an incredible journey with all of our incredible partners, which is why we are a team and we're going to take women upwards and forward, like you said. Now, I would like to ask Mr. Amit Mehta, who is the head of AWS trainings and certification in India, responsible for delivering and scaling cloud skilling programs to learners and organizations across. AWS training and certification equips people with the skills to leverage the AWS cloud and innovate in the digital world. With training designed by experts at AWS, Amit works to empower learners at all levels to build with confidence and leaders to drive transformation and deliver results in their organizations. Mr. Amit, I would really like to request you to please come forward and talk to our members here about AI and the infinite scope that's available and the opportunities that's available in the field.
So thank you, Aditi. Thanks, Madhura, and thanks to the Aspire for Her team. Here we are again. Really love the vibrancy of this community and the fact that we're making a difference. So I wanted to spend a few minutes before we dive into the main agenda. I wanted to give you a sense of why we came about this program and therefore the role that it has in your lives and you can potentially make a difference. So I think I just wanted to leave you with 3 data points. The first data point I want to leave you with, we did a research at AWS with a firm called Alpha Beta. And one of the things that came out very clearly in that research was that India will need about 27.3 million digital workers next year. And within that, some of the top skills are cloud-related skills and skills around cybersecurity, skills around AI and big data. Those are the most sought after skills. And at this forum, we've talked about it at length. This is the research that came out this year only. So I wanted to share a snippet of that. Artificial intelligence is right there in the top 5. So that's the ask of the industry. Just to give you a context of what this means for GDP, NASSCOM came out with another data point which said by 2025, AI adoption can potentially drive $500 billion additional in your GDP, in India's GDP. Now that's a big potential, $500 billion. Now, where is this $500 billion going to come from? There are about 4 or 5 sectors which are going to contribute 60% to that 5 billion. So there is, BFSI, there's retail, there's automotive. Those are the key verticals. And then most of the customer facing verticals, consumer packed industry, going to have contribute towards this AI. Now, I think the other important thing to note is AI is also important just from where India is today, in the geopolitical landscape or in the IT landscape globally. So we do have the potential to become the next powerhouse of delivering and creating new products and services. So if you see India's trajectory of growth, it was first built on the IT services business. But now increasingly you see a lot of Indian businesses rolling out new products. So we have companies in India who are rolling out products, who are sassifying their products to roll out to global markets. So I think the next chase for India is to become and have be a market to drive global products. So I would say that's the point. Now, in terms of just the numbers that really we are passionate about, when we go to customers, we ask our customers about two things. One, what is a critical skill, and what is a rare skill, that they will need to do their businesses well. So clearly, what has happened is that pandemic has accelerated the adoption of cloud, uh, and the critical skill is one which is important for people to do their jobs in the current role. And the scarce skills are those, for critical skills, at least you have a talent pool outside that you can create, nurture, train. So let's say a cloud architect is an example of a critical skill. You will have 2 million STEM graduates to mine into. You will have 4.6 million IT BPM workers to go, and you can train them. So there's a pool that exists. But for sectors where you have scarce skills, and the scarce skills, an example of scarce skills is AI and big data. At AWS also, we are not able to get a lot of people to join us because the talent pool is very small. So God bless those businesses where the intersection of critical skills and scarce skills to run their business and be competitive in the business is around AI and big data. So I think that's the challenge that collectively the industry is trying to solve for. And it is here that is imperative that whosoever from a learner journey perspective embraces AI, ML, big data as potential, streams, they will not only make more money, but they'll also create an opportunity for the next decade and many decades to come for them to be relevant to the business. Now, in terms of the number of roles in India which are required to be filled, we are looking at anywhere between 250,000 odd AI trained professionals by 2025. And that's a number that came from the NASSCOM report. So it's about 13 to 15% of the overall digital future skills that are required. So what of the 1.7 million skills that are required across different elements, IoT, cloud, and this thing, about 13 to 15% is AI ML. So I think that's the context. And keeping that context in mind, our initiative here in AI for All is an attempt to increase the size of the talent pool of the number of people who will be participating in the AI and ML workforce. And therefore, we launched this initiative on June 6th with AICTE and the IT minister. And the idea is, our goal is to see at the minimum get 200,000 odd professionals registered to this course, certify about 25,000. And that's where our partnership with Data Tech Lab and Dr. Amit Andrei comes in. I think he's devised a series of very interesting engagements which take you through theoretical knowledge, which also gives you hands-on lab and real-time industry use cases to work with, such that at the end of these different programs, you are ready to be employed in the industry. And that's where we are really solving industry problems. So I just wanted to step in, give you a context. And at AWS, our focus is how do we make and democratize AI learning? So we believe that in the fullness of time, all applications will be embedded with AI and ML. And you already see there's intelligence in most of the applications. So our approach is a three-tiered approach. For data scientists who are able to build their own models, they are willing to explain, work with the model, frameworks like, the number of frameworks that are available today. Those frameworks can be used to develop and deploy AI and ML models. And that's where we want to ensure that they are able to participate with us. Then there are people who are not data scientists, but they want to be able to deploy AI and ML model, use cases in their industry. So we have what we call SageMaker, which is a simple way to roll out AI applications. And then there are APIs, which are like a bunch of APIs which can be embedded in programs to lend the AI and ML capability and functionality. So there are we have a three-tiered approach from specialists to novices. The idea is to democratize AI learning, and I'll leave it to Girisha to talk more about it. But that's how we are looking at evangelizing in the industry. So I'll pause here. I wish you all the best, and I really, really do hope that you make and take advantage of this unique program and partner with us. So thank you for inviting us and for your time today. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Amit, for getting us an insight into the data, into the numbers, into the fact that there are 2 lakh job opportunities and more in this field. And that is all that we're here for, to capitalize, to get into the opportunities that are present and to ride the wave. So before we move forward, does anybody over here in the audience, it's a question for you all, do you know who the father of AI is? Anybody, even in the speakers? I mean, I'm sure the speakers know. So just the audience. You can like comment in the chat. Wow, we have the right answer in the chat box, and some wrong and some right. So it is Alan Turing, and he is considered the father of AI, and The Imitation Game is actually a movie that's been on his life. So moving forward, it's actually a good fact to know that during the World War II, AI was present, which means that we have traveled such a long time, and it's had its presence in our lives throughout. And the presence is only going to grow and increase in number, in presence, in intensity. So let's get started with our session, wherein we have 2 incredible speakers. Ms. Manisha Gupta, who leads the product and GTM for HR analytics products at Oracle. And her career has been a journey of chasing the whys of value creation and capture. She has led multi-million hands-on global responsibilities at Oracle, LinkedIn, and eBay across strategy, development, and customer success. Scaled early-stage startups like Cafe Press and Fat Brain, and has had a successful exit for a venture she started at OnePlace. Manisha holds an MBA from Wharton and MS in Computer Science and several patents. A public speaker, author, board member, investor, operator, faculty, hiker, and mother, she enjoys traveling and enriching life with technology, psychology, and philanthropy. Hi, Manisha. We welcome you to our platform, and thank you so much for coming here. We would also like to introduce Ms. Girisha Garg. Dr. Girisha Garg is a senior technical trainer with AWS India TNC team, where she is combining her passion for teaching and technology to enable customers to understand and adopt AI ML services on cloud. As an AWS authorized champion instructor, she delivers courses around machine learning and cloud computing. She is a postdoctorate from Georgia State University and has over 14 years of industry and research experience in machine learning and deep learning related technologies. We welcome both of you to our platform, to our event, and are looking forward to seeing all the incredible knowledge that you have to share with us. So starting with you, Manisha.
Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you, Madhura. I feel blessed every day that I met Madhura, actually, and we joined hands, and now we are here together. Great to meet both Amits also, and I'm looking forward to, hopefully working together further. So let me just start to give a different flavor. We decided I'll start with a little bit of a presentation, and I'm going to follow up a little bit on what Amit already shared. Okay, so let's just start with going back with Alan Turing. His favorite question, just to give everybody a perspective, his favorite question, and he keeps asking that in the movie also, was, can machines think? Right? And that's a debate which is taking over the industry in both positive and negative flavors. Some people have started getting scared a little bit of AI on, what are the capabilities it can do. But really, most of us are very excited with the abilities that AI can do. So I'll maybe spend 10 minutes. I'm going to give you a quick overview of where AI is today, what are the different career options, how you can get started, and then we will continue with the rest of the program. So what really is AI, very quickly, because most of us are beginners today on the call, and I was also here, some time back. AI is nothing but the ability of computers to perform like humans. And when we just take a moment to pause, what do we really do? We actually do a lot. We can recognize speech. We can make decisions. We understand each other. We identify odd things. We interpret visuals quite a bit, right? And when we start expecting and wanting and training computers to do that, that's basically human intelligence training machines. So it becomes artificial intelligence. So nothing scary, very simple stuff. The bottom line, though, is machines have started thinking, but still humans hold the key on what we are training them to. So we'll always be slightly ahead, right? Okay, so AI, we are seeing it everywhere. When you talk to Amazon today, that is AI. Machines have started speaking back to us. Oracle has the chat bot. Again, when the machine is speaking back to it, that's AI. So really, we may or may not realize it. We are living with AI at every step of our way today. When we look at weather predictions, it's AI. It's artificial intelligence looking at a lot of data, past trends to predict what future weather could look like. AI is also in retail, in healthcare. Amit covered it. It's literally everywhere. It's almost like a internet. Sometime back when internet came, it was one technology or the peripheral of the world. Now it has taken everywhere. We don't even think of internet as a thing. It's just everywhere in our life. AI is that next general technology, which is really changing the way we live and we work. So it's going to be literally everywhere. It's also nothing to get scared of, and it also takes time to evolve, right? So we talk about Tesla. I have a Tesla. When we drive it today, it's quite automated, I would say. But when the journey started with Tesla, they were very early. Like there was no automation in the car. Then the drivers had little automation. Step by step by step, over decades, AI became more intelligent. And as you and I enter this industry, we may start at 0 or 1 or 2. It doesn't matter. If we keep at it, I think we'll be able to get to the numbers that Amit mentioned at the beginning of the 250 plus jobs, right? That's a huge opportunity. And it's very exciting also, these opportunities. So a couple of things about AI. It starts with data, right? It's not like a magic pill, like a discipline that you start applying AI everywhere. You have to be a little conscious. And it's really about looking at past trends of what has happened in the past. How do I look at the trends that are prevalent from the past data to predict what future could be? There are a lot of models you might have heard of: regression, random forest. Again, these are names of programs. Models exist, a lot of them exist, a lot of open libraries exist. For all the technical people on the call, the key thing I want you to take away today is we can start building these models, but we can also start looking at what existing models exist to apply and solve problems that we might be facing or we might be passionate about, right? So some of us might be passionate about, let's say, making customer experience better, or a recommendation engine in our retail, or just language screening. Whatever you're doing, there will be a case for AI where you can get better, smarter, and help the world here. So choose your area. AI is also continuing to grow. A couple of myths which may have been heard. I saw most of the audience today is technology, but also non-tech, so welcome. And also most of us are beginners, so great to be enthusiastic about it. AI is not just another technology. It is a way of doing things, as we just saw. Couple of other myths. It's not just for tech people. It's actually for everybody. When 13 to 15% of the jobs in digital skill, as Amit mentioned, are in AI, what do you think will happen? As these engineers start coding, you'll need a product manager to think about products for AI, a marketeer to market those products, a recruiter to recruit for them. So it doesn't matter which field you are in. This is an area worth being aware of and going through different levels of training, whatever may be best for us. Careers for AI, I'll keep this simple. Girisha is going to cover much more on this one. But it is, first of all, again, it's not a magic pill. It is part of data analytics. So think about first understanding where analytics will fit. What are the questions, business questions, personal questions, passion questions that you want seeking answers for, and then enhance them with artificial intelligence. There are careers for engineers, all the basics, ML engineers, solutions of ML ops, data engineers, data scientists, AI infrastructure. There's a lot of things here, but also for non-engineers. Whichever field you are in, and if it's not on the slide and you have a question, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to work with you one-on-one to help you understand if it is, where you could start the journey. Finally, I'm going to leave you with, it's a puzzle, but it's a very solvable puzzle. The main thing to do is start. So how do we start? Well, learn something, I think Amit will go after me next. And so pick up a module that resonates with you. Pick a passion project, something you are dying to get an answer for. It could be anything. I mean, it could really be one student of mine who actually was looking at matrimonial areas. Another was looking at how she and her friends could connect. What are the best restaurants in a specific university? It doesn't matter. Pick a passion project. Pick something. Find data, and then start looking for more and more data to solve it. Really, it is a do try game, and it's doable, easy for everyone again. So I'll leave you with these takeaways. It's for everyone, not really for everything, but for everyone. It will continue to grow. You are in the very early stages of AI phenomena. So welcome and get started, and just start. Don't just keep waiting for where to start it. So with that, Aditya, I'm going to pass it on to Girisha, and hopefully that helped. And if anybody has questions, I'm happy to take. And I can take the questions on the chat, so we can pass it on to Girisha.
Thank you so much, Manisha, for covering the basics, the basic building block of AI, which is, I think, definitely going to help everybody over here. Even I'm thinking of, just trying the Zaggle thing and find out some answers to my own passion projects. So yeah, thank you so much. And Girisha, I would really like you to come forward and take the event forward.
Thanks, Aditya, and thanks, Manisha, for this wonderful, very crisp and very to the point talk about what can we do with it. But before we get, I'm right now, when I was thinking about what I'm going to talk about today, I really took a step back, and I thought, when I was there in the place where I started my journey, what I was wanting to hear. So I just took a step back, and I thought, okay, let's talk to you folks, as I would have talked to my friends or to my family or something like that. So before I get started, folks, just a very simple question. If you can see my screen right now, do you recognize this female which you see on my screen? See? Okay. So there are wonderful people who actually recognize her. Yes, she is Ada Lovelace. She is credited with writing the first algorithm that was meant to be processed by a machine. So she is counted as the first developer, first computer. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for those lovely answer, folks. So she was actually the first one to realize that a computer would be able to do more than the mathematical calculations. And she really kickstarted a long and a very fine tradition of women making incredible leaps going forward in the computer and technology. But that is all good and fine. But when we do hear these numbers, which was presented by Amit on the gap between the skills, and if I top up that number with the gap that we see with the women in technology, with the women specifically in AI, that is actually a startling number on itself. But then what happened if we had such a great start, being Lovelace, starting the computer programming in the first place? Then where did we lose? Yeah, so that is one thing that I'm going to give you as a takeaway to think about. What happened in between where we lost the connection and losing the favorability of having women in tech? That is one thing I want all of you to take away and just think about it. But that is just for you to take away. Now, to talk to you more about how AI and ML is going to come ahead in a few more let's say a few more years. So if you ask me, I see AI ML as one of the places where there's going to be a lot of expansion. So I started my journey way back in 2007. In those time, it was not even called machine learning, let me tell you. It was called either soft computing or it was called AI for general terms. But machine learning as a term was not so prevalent. So let me very funny and a very simple story. I came from an engineering background. I was very passionate about medical computer sciences. I loved reading books. So I just went to a library one day, and in the engineering book session, I find something related to neural networks. I was like, okay, what a biology book is doing in the engineering network. I did not have any idea. Just imagine a fourth year undergrad student thinking about neural networks in an engineering section. I got fascinated, and I just spent the whole night reading the book, and I'm still overwhelmed how neural networks can actually impact the way our brains think. But one thing which you all might need going ahead in your machine learning journeys is the passion, folks, right? So one thing which has kept me grounded here in this field is definitely my passion to learn more and more what AI can do, how machine learning can solve things. But I guess even that will be helpful for you. Now, second thing I would like to share with you all is the expansion, as I was talking about. See, today, working with technology which is changing and which has the potential to transform the whole society, it is very imperative that we need diverse perspective, we need competences, and we need backgrounds which are from various different areas, right? AI today, as Amit said, and as Manisha also told us, it's part of everyone's life. Right now, as we speak, AI is being generating everywhere. We talk to Alexa, we have recommendation or music platforms, we are interacting with it. Given its penetrating influence, it is very essential that the creators of the AI ML reflect the diversity also, the diversity of the population. Otherwise, what shall happen? I mean, the people will be interacting with systems designed to serve only the needs of the creator subsets, right? And that's why it's not only, it's our job to think about women in AI, or maybe just underrepresented people in AI, but it's also our responsibility. So it's our responsibility as women, as other people of underrepresented societies, to come ahead, to give a push, and to come ahead to make sure whatever solutions we create for the coming up generations, they have this particular representation as well. So this will be just a simple request from me. So just take this as a responsibility as well. And then what are the things which you might need to consider? Now you have your responsibility, but what do I need to consider? See, expansion of AI has gone to two dimensions, if you ask me. One is who can do the AI, right? Initially, this AI term, as many of you would know, was only subjected to maybe software engineers or developers, right? People who self-identified themselves as developer or software engineers could relate to it. But now with the low code and the no code technology, I'll just show you from where can you get started in a while. Now, people who even don't self-identify themselves as developers or software engineers, they can still top up their skills with AI, right? If you are a lawyer, let's say, if you're a marketer, if you're an HR, so you have your own domain and you can top it up with a portion of AI that can actually put you ahead of the curve, right? So you're basically adding AI on top of your own expertise. And trust me, it's not a big leap. Many people might think, going on top of my business domain to top it up with AI might be a big thing to do, big thing to achieve, but I can assure you it's not. So let me just share another very funny story with you. I'm not sure if you all know about what is supervised and unsupervised algorithms. There's a very simple part of ML. So how I have learned to adapt to is how my 1-year-old, I have 2 children, how my 1-year-old would like to learn from toys when I show her, and how my 4-year-old kid would like to learn to toy by himself. So this is how I have adapted to learn and absorb the technology into my own life. So if you are just starting your journeys, just make sure you relate your AI/ML learning along with the daily life examples. And if you are at a mid-career or a managerial level, then I would recommend you 3 important things. First, make sure if AI is the thing for you, it's not just the hype, and if it's actually solving the solution for you. and make sure that you understand the process of it, the system thinking, the larger thinking. So as Manisha said, what happens if we create products out of it? There will be product managers, there will be marketers who will be selling it, there will be recruiting people who will be hiring people for that, right? So you need to understand the system thinking. Even if you're not getting your hands dirty out there, you need to manage that, right? So you need to understand at least the system thinking, right? So with this, I want to take you all to one platform, maybe let's just a few pages here. So initially when I was thinking on what I should be giving you to take away, I was like thinking, what should I have, right? So I relate this like a shopping example. When we go shopping, we don't really want to be told this is what you should buy, right? I want to be exploring it myself. I want to find out what suits my capacities, right? So that's why I try to get a few pages out here. Now, the pages are here just to make sure when you end this session, when you go away with the session, you have your own learning in your hands, right? So this is something which is a learning by role or solution. So if you're an architect, if you're a cloud practitioner, operations, even if you are not falling into any of these lists which you are seeing the screen, then you have other solutions as well. But yes, if you are somewhere related to technology somewhere, so these are the roles with you. If you think that this is not the right choice for me, how can I learn without understanding how my role is going to ask for it? So this is the web page which defines other mediums, right? So you have course spotlights, a machine learning university which is free of cost, a huge benefit for everyone who's starting at the beginner level.
Sorry to interrupt you, but are you sharing some slides?
Not really.
Okay, no, there is a question which people are just asking in the chat box, so I thought I'll just check. Okay.
There might be a lag. Just make
Now
sure.
we see your screen.
Yeah.
Now we
All
see your
right.
screen.
Okay. Thank you. So folks, this is what I was sharing with you. I'll just put this on the chat as well. Give me a moment. So this is where you can actually go ahead and look for the roles. So trust me, folks, even I have learned it the same way. So I'm just sharing what I learned on my own. I'm just sharing how I did it. I have a long way to go. And I'm still learning. I still go to this page and I go to the next step, from beginner to intermediate to an expert level, right? So this is where I would want all of you to just go ahead, have a look, what suits the best for you. Is it a digital program? Is it a classroom training? And if it is not even the classroom training, I have this beautiful resource made up for you. So this is called the Ramp Up Guide, and it is actually called the Ramp Up Guide for some reason, okay? So how do you start first with the general idea? How do you take up the digital trainings? How do you go for the exploration of classroom trainings? And then finally, how do you do other Udemy courses or maybe edX courses? And once you reach a stage where you say, okay, now I'm confident I could take up the world, right, with machine learning, why don't just certify with it, right? So you have machine learning specialty examination also. I cleared it in 2020. It was one of the most wonderful exams that I've ever done. I'm honestly, I'm very scared of exams, but this is something which I had a lot of fun doing. So I can vouch for it. And for all the people who are thinking, Girisha, you are saying something which a technologist might understand, but I am not a technologist, I'm here just to understand how AI can top up my skills, right? So let me tell you something. There is something which is called a no code, low code movement, with which anyone, if I'll just give you an example, even if it is any lawyer wanting to improve their case notes, maybe with help of AI, then we have a solution for them. So there's something which is called Amazon SageMaker Canvas, using which you don't need to code at all. There's no coding required. Why am I telling you here? I know about this, so I can vouch for it that this is going to help you. Now I would say, Girisha, this is something which might help a particular section, but how do I specialize in some of the other skills I might need, right? So you must have heard how Alexa can talk to us. What if I told you that you could design a similar platform for yourself without dive deep into the machine learning? How does this sound, folks? Do you think that sounds wonderful? If I could just tell you with just a few clicks here or there, you could actually design your own chatbot. Let me know, folks. Does it sound interesting for every one of you?
That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So let me search something for you. I'm not giving you web page here. I'm actually searching it for you the way you would have done that, right? So you can go AI services, AWS is what you need to go for. Okay, so you have AI services right there. Let's find out. Okay. Okay, so there are too many of them. Which one do I need to look for? All right. Let's find out what Poly does. I'll just go ahead, have a look at it. It turns text into a lifelike speech. Sounds interesting. So what do I have to do for it? I would just pick any language and get started. Okay, but Girisha, do I need to pay for it? Again, good news. So you have AWS free tier where you get 5 billion characters free per month for 12 months. You just need to get started. As Manisha very well said, if you are sitting over the fence, if you're thinking, how should I get started? So that's the only question which is stopping you. That's the only thing that is stopping you. You just need to find something that you think you can relate with it. If you think your recommendations through your phone are not coming as you would want to, find out the reason why. If you think your shopping list is not being credited as you would want to, find out the reason why. Okay, so just go get started, and I will highly recommend getting started with these AI ML services. Why? Because let me tell you a secret recipe out there, folks. So AI ML is something which require a little bit of dedication. If you just get started with the whole process, you need to understand the pipeline. You need to go step by step in the whole pipeline. Okay. But if you get started with these AI services, you get that confidence and the boost. Okay, I developed a chatbot. Just share it with your friends. Come on, let's just try it out. I developed a chatbot out there. So let me just open up here, which is called Amazon Lex, which is called building chatbots with conversational AI. Again, you get 10,000 text and 5,000 speech requests free. So I'm not advertising this here, folks. Trust me, this is not my intention to do that. My only focus is to give you a push here. Right now, I can see 144 participants logged in. So even if out of this 144 participants, after listening to this, even like 14 of you get started with your journeys on trying with the AI, I believe our talk's purpose is done, maybe, right? So I really want to push it again. One more time, folks. If you think you have some biases which are impeding your journey towards AI ML, just shed it off. Go to this platform, or maybe just any other platform where you can start developing. We can start the work going, because if you just sit, read the books, read the blogs, it might take time and you might lose patience. Trust me. Right? So why don't you just get started, which can first give you some results out there, and then dive deep, go backwards. Going backwards is one of the easiest way to learn a new technology, I believe, especially when we have our own daily lives, right? So yes, absolutely, Padmaja. So why not design a document reading type solution for yourself? It's as I said, just log into the console, okay, and get started. Trust me, you will not be required to do a part of the coding, Python, PySpark. I can vouch for you. I can promise you all that will not be required from your end if you don't know the coding. And for the folks who are right now sitting here, I know the coding. I'm a champ at it. Tell me, what can I do? So for you, my friends, we have other services like SageMaker. Go ahead and code the world out, right? So this is what I wanted to talk to you about today. And this is what I wanted to tell you. Don't just I'm not sure if procrastinate is the right word to use, but don't just think, just start doing, right? You have free platforms all over, the ones that I shared with you. Another thing I'm going to share with you, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So there was something which is called SageMaker Studio Lab. Now, what is this? This is an absolute free resource. Now, many of you might be students, which might I mean, if you don't have a credit account, you might need to get the credit account to get your account started. So, Girisha, I don't have a credit account. Do I stop? We are not letting you do that. We're not letting you stop there, right? So we want to put machine learning into the hands of each and every person out there. So for that purpose, we have come something which is called the SageMaker Studio Lab. For this, you don't even need an account, right? You need just log into this, create an account, and off you go. So you get started. It's absolutely free. You get started on your machine learning environment for free. You have GPUs, CPUs, and what is the best part out of it? You have GitHub Lab examples combined with it, integrated it with seamlessly. So all this, only thing which might now stop you is your own time, right? Maybe just extract 1 hour, if not even 1 hour, just get 20 minutes of yours, go ahead, look for it. And as Manisha said, the same thing from me, folks. If you have any challenges, please connect with me on LinkedIn on one-on-one. I will be happy to share any knowledge that I can. I will be happy to assist in any manner I can. And let's just make sure let's just make sure we don't let the great legacy of Ada Lovelace go down. If she could be the first computer programmer, we at least have a responsibility to make sure that whatever solutions are coming up in the future from machine learning domain have a representation of us as well, because we are important. Okay, so with this thought, with this thought, please, I'll just stop here. Aditi, if
Thank
you have
you.
anything.
Thank you so much, Girisha, for actually not just you know, pushing everybody from people who already know about AI to those who don't know anything about AI to get into this. Because, like you said, it's an incredible opportunity to leave your own legacy behind in this world and to create something new and interesting for the world to use and see. And like, we can't let down the legacy of Ada Lovelace, because
Absolutely.
we have incredible women repping for us. We need to stand by it. So with this, thank you so much. I would now like to invite Dr. Amit Andrei, a passionate learner, renowned public speaker, and an avid digital transformation expert. He is the CEO of the Data Tech Labs. His expertise also lies in artificial intelligence and data science. His keen initiatives towards improving organizational growth, profit hiking strategies, and keeping pace with technological advancements marks him as a leading CEO. Learning and teaching being his passion, Dr. Amit is a hardcore learner and trainer with a strong belief in knowledge sharing. His high-profile technological qualifications, complex real-time problem-solving methodologies, and outcome-oriented approach makes him stand apart. Dr. Amit's illuminating vision, like that of a true leader towards business goals, is inspirational. With more than 15 years of rich experience, along with his customer-driven approach and the learn and improve strategy, he's definitely an influential leader who is always aspiring to get the best technological solutions for resolving business challenges. Dr. Amit, I would really like to request you to please come forward and educate the attendees over here about AI for India and the Data Tech Labs and how the partnership is coming along.
Perfectly. Thanks, Aditi. Thank you very much. A warm welcome to all of you who are attending, and a fantastic session by all the speakers, which I've been hearing for last 45 minutes. And the most important part, which I would like to emphasize, and each one of us should understand, that everybody, including Manisha, Amit, Garima, all of them have given an insight, a correct an insight which is visionary in it itself. And what we as a beginner, I call myself also as a beginner because learning never stops. So we as a beginners need to understand that yes, artificial intelligence is one technology or probably one part of the entire thought process. Every individual has to be evaluated in terms of what needs to be implemented. So an AI expert, an ML experts or a SageMaker services will help you to give you tools, but whether the input or output of those tools is correct or not has to be evaluated by a domain expert. And or all of this is hosted where? Of course, on cloud. So ultimately, our learning strategies will be an integrated symposium of cloud, data, and artificial intelligence coming together to solve industry or real-time problems. With that thought process and a vision to make India AI capital of the world, which talks about an emerging statistics, which was laid as a foundation by Amit Mehta on the statistics or the people who have or the need of the industry with multiple statistics available. In this vision, we want or we aim to create a different culture, aligning, training, certifying, and most important, exposing every enthusiast to the different verticals of the industry. So like if I have to give you an example, today if somebody wants to learn Python or machine learning basics, there are multiple platforms available for each one of you. But then when we talk about Python or machine learning or any technology for that matter, implementation of Python in banking is completely different than in telecom or in retail or in cloud services as such. And that is where the industry understanding and requirement plays a major role. And that's why in this program, we have created a important step-by-step process, which will not only educate and train the registrations or train the participants who would register for this program, but also give them exposure in terms of internships, ideas, strategies, startup components, supporting in terms of funding as well as mentorship to convert the idea into reality. All of that is combined into one single package. Let me share my slide to give you more insight on this. Aditi, can you please enable sharing?
Yeah, Priya.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Just give me a second. This was launched, as Amit Mehta said, this was launched last month. And in a month's time, we have more than 50 lakh participants participating in this initiative, and the counter is still on. The idea for making India AI capital of the world, we try to emphasize, educate, and expose students from 8th standard to 12th standard, undergraduates, graduates, working professionals, everybody who want to explore this world. In this initiative, there are 5 different events. And the first event is National Future Engineering Scholarship Examination. Before appearing for the scholarship examination, you would have access to 3 important courses. One is AI fundamentals, second is data fundamentals, and third is cloud fundamentals. And these courses will enable you to appear for the examination, and top 25 performers of this scholarship exam will get 100% scholarship to be a AWS certified machine learning engineer and would go through entire learning track of this particular delivery. And that's the beauty of the first event. The exam would be scheduled from 15th August to 15th September, and you can appear for the exam anytime between these period, and maximum you can have is 5 attempts. And that's the height of flexibility which can be given to be a part of this initiative of making India AI capital of the world. Second event is All India Skill to Scale Avenue. This event is specifically for people or for students who have passed out in pandemic, who have completed their final year projects in pandemic or a third year in pandemic, because industries still feel they are a bit away or not up to the mark. And the important logic of scaling down the recruitment of freshers in this domain is this. And that's why in this initiative, unconditionally, we are giving opportunity to everybody who is passed out in pandemic, which is 2021 and 22, a complete boot camp free of cost, and appear for examination at their level, where they can appear and mark their career on cloud, data, and AI, three important verticals of any technology today in place. Third third event which I was talking about is AI Ideathon. And that's where we cultivate the entrepreneurship and the thought process. The idea here is to select top 10 ideas, fund them in crores to make their idea into reality, and mentor them throughout the journey, technically, financially, operationally, and of course from the resource wise. From all 360-degree angles, we would want to have these ideas converted into reality in next 12 months of people who submit their ideas and work around it. The fourth event revolves around data, and this is specifically created for all data enthusiasts and a team building competition or team competitions in India amongst multiple corporate companies, multiple colleges, universities, or open source teams who can come around and appear for a quiz. And winners would certainly get a track of the entire certification and learning path of how we would be changing the landscape of data and AI with the help of entire tools and techniques. The last but not the least is a flagship where anybody who has attempted any one of the events earlier executed will get an opportunity to interact and appear for interview, at least 5 of them, around cloud, data, and AI profiles, to grab the opportunity. Because till the time we complete the entire AI for India initiative within 6 to 9 months, people would be ready in terms of projects, in terms of internships, in terms of learnings, in terms of certifications, and ready to face the challenges of industry from top-notch companies in the world. And that's where we would want all women out here with Aspire for Her and She Dares, and the entire community where you all would be associated with it, be part of this AI for India initiative with us to make India AI capital of the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Andrei, for sharing the opportunities with us and showing us there are opportunities for people and women from every sector, from all age groups. So it's going to be really important that everybody present here should tap into it, should grab the opportunity with both its arms, and just throw themselves into this new AI wave that is coming along with AI for India.
And we just expect an accountable effort. That's it. Rest
Exactly.
the entire journey would be smooth.
Yeah, there are opportunities. So if you want it, you have to go try at it and give it your all. And you'll probably get into the jobathon, get jobs and everything. So thank you so much, Dr. Andrei, for sharing all of this over here. We do have some questions related to the AI for India program, wherein people want to ask, what is the age for enrolling for the Future Engineering Scholarship?
Sorry, can you please repeat that again?
What is the age limit for enrolling into the Future Engineering Scholarship?
See, there is no age limit. It starts from 8 standard students. We are categorizing it standard wise. So 8 standard to 12 standard will come into one shell of exam questions or complexity of questions coming for scholarship. The idea behind including 8th standard to 12th standard is giving them a thought process to think what can be the future. Yes, they would not be part of Jobathon or they can be part of Ideathon, but of course not the Jobathon components. But the learning process for them is also curated exclusively understanding their age segments.
All right, that is really cool. So are the scholarships also available for standard 8 students, or is it just for higher education students?
Scholarships are available for standard 8 students also.
Okay. All right. So somebody wants to know how to register for the future engineering scholarship.
I think Doyle Syam has just posted the link on the chat. Please go to that link, and you will have options to register to all 5 events. You can pick and choose your options and conclude with the registration process.
All right.
Once you are registered, probably in a week's time, you would have access to Knowledge as a Service, which is the platform through which the entire learning process would be governed.
All right, that's great. And is it limited only to STEM background? Does the stream matter, or it's open for students from all backgrounds?
It is open for students from every background. I am okay to work or interact with BA, BCom, BBA, a doctor, a dentist. I myself have written 2 patents and implemented in multiple industries on healthcare as well as automobile, which probably will come down. So as I said, yes, from the emerging technology perspective and technology, team of technology people or women's here, but at the same time, while learning technology, it is very important for all of us also to understand whether the tools are giving us correct output or not. And that can come from domain experts or domain functional experts only. So a chartered accountant or a commerce guy can basically correct if our chatbot is calculating correct balance sheets or P&Ls of our organization, or probably a PA for HRA bots for that matter.
Yeah, so that means anybody and everybody who wants to get into this and utilize it for whatever they want to, their passion projects, their work, their main hustle, then you can just get into the, click on the link, register yourself, and find out wherever you can fit in and all the resources.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you so much. And there is one very interesting question. So I would like Girisha to answer this, because
absolutely.
Somebody has said that machines are learning for sure. So can machines think, depending on how thinking is ahead of learning?
Yep, absolutely they can. So see, just imagine whatever you can tell a child, okay, that's probably what you're telling the machine as well. So just imagine how well we train a child. That's how the child is going to frame out, right? That's what you see here, right? The sound that you see on the background now, can you figure out, was it intentional or was it a real one? Can you think out now?
We know it's unintentional.
Okay, so that's my about this, folks.
Sorry.
I can take that question.
But yeah, yes, please, thank you.
I would say, Girisha, great example. I think so. How humans think, right? I mean, as a kid, Girisha's kid is right now crying in the background. But how do we think? We look at patterns very subconsciously. We're constantly, our eyes, all the 5 senses, and we are gathering a lot of data. And over a period of time, we start building trends. Some of those trends we are passed down by our parents and adults. Some of them we are observing ourselves. Machines, that is exactly what humans have trained. And in fact, one fascinating phenomena, if you're not aware of, the biggest algorithm, the most talked about algorithm today is neural networks. And guess how it is designed? It is designed literally on the design of the human brain. So the builders of the model, they studied how humans perceive, understand, become intelligent, and then they started modeling it. So Alan Turing's question, can machines think? We are training machines to think. And I have a paper actually on this topic of like, will AI and humans, who will eventually win the war? I passionately believe humans will, if we keep training individuals, machines the right way. because whatever you think of today, you will automate it tomorrow, right? And hopefully by tomorrow, we will be more intelligent. And so hopefully we'll always be a little ahead. But the only thing is when you look for a passionate project, look for something that creates value. Everybody talked about it. Like something you're really passionate about. It could be my mom in India is alone and I need a, automated way for somebody to keep an eye on her, and, give the right pill. It could be whatever. It could be a dating website. It could be anything. But any passion project, teach the machine. And that was a dialogue, right? In Three Idiots, machines make our life easier. AI makes machines faster. So yes, they can think, train them to think the right way, just like you train your kids to think the right way. And hope nurturing works well. Yeah.
Thank you. That was very interesting, and hopefully, I hope humans always stay ahead of the machines and never the other way around. Despite how easy we want them.
And just to add on to that, I'm sure many of you must have seen wonderful movies out there. So this is one specific movie I highly recommend everyone watching, which is called Wall-E, if you've not watched it. So that movie actually did a lot of relating to me. I still can't forget how we adapt to machines, right? Our bellies in the future, our bellies have grown up, our thumbs have, magnified to adapt to the kind of texting that we do daily now. Yes, thank you. Movie's name is Wall-E. So over there, it's the expression of love has been beautifully captured from a robot's perspective, right? So we are not far away from there, but as Manisha very well said, we just need to keep one step ahead.
Thank you so much.
I could see one question, and I would want to answer that. I think Divya Arora has asked us, women on career break can also apply. Yes, of course, you can apply. Feel free to apply.
Can somebody from outside India apply?
Yes. Only condition is he or she should be Indian.
Okay. With an
Yay!
citizenship.
Amit, thank you. I'm going to publicize.
Sorry, I'm so sorry to cut you. You please go ahead.
No, I was just saying thank you, Amit, because one of my passion project is what can we do to incentivize good Indians to go back to India. So I think this is great. Absolutely.
So this has been a very insightful and a very fun session. And I hope everybody here, they got to learn something and they got their answers. If you still haven't got your answers, you can just reach out to us on mail, anything about the program, anything about the AWS tradings, whatever it is, reach out to us via mail and we'll answer it. And thank you so much, everybody. It was really nice having you all over here. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and for giving us such an interesting discussion to think upon and to push ourselves to get into this popular technology. And thank you so much, Girisha. Thank you so much, Manisha. Thank you so much, Dr. Andrei. It was a pleasure having you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.